The crisis in the National Assembly. Democracy is under attack in Nigeria, and the National Assembly just turned into a battlefield. On Tuesday, February 17, 2026, chaos erupted in the House of Representatives as opposition lawmakers staged a massive walkout, chanting APC OLE. They are protesting a controversial move that could kill real-time electronic transmission of election results for 2027. You won't believe the rowdy scenes and the level of tension between lawmakers right now. I have the full, explosive reactions from Rufai Oseni and Dr. Reuben Abati as they break down this betrayal of the Nigerian people. Is this a plan to rig the next election? Before we dive into the analysis, please subscribe to RobinNewz right now so you never miss the truth about what's happening in our country.
Ole! ABC! Ole! ABC! Ole!
Begin in Abuja with Dr. Abati. Your take, again, there were so many moments, but what grabbed your attention?
Well, I mean, the drama. The drama was, of course, foreseeable, and so nobody should be surprised that yesterday you had some persons, minority caucus in the House of Representatives, chanting that the APC seems determined to rig the election in 2027 on the basis of the disagreements that they had with Clause 60, sub 3, which is about electronic transmission, which they insisted must be done real time and that it should be mandatory. Now, again, the other issue that they disagree with had to do with Clause 84, which has to do with the mode of primaries, with the amended copy talking about direct primaries and consensus, whereas the minority caucus insisted on indirect primaries, whereby, outside external bodies will not be able to dictate, but, there will be internal democracy within the parties. Okay, the failure to achieve their objective, in fact, led to their walking out in protest. And then in the Senate, the contentious part of it was the division that Senator Abaribe asked for, as you pointed out. Eventually, that was allowed. But the contentious issue was Clause 60 and also Clause 28, which is about date. Okay, there was no contention over Clause 28, which is the reduction of the dates before commencement of elections from 360 days to 300 days to give, the INEC room for maneuvering with regard to the election coinciding with the elections with Ramadan. However, we've not seen the end of the drama. As the Senate President summarized, well, the minority figures, they, showed courage. But the Senate President says, well, what has been done is innovative. But whatever it is when the law is tested that we will see the outcome. And you can expect that in 2027, the drama that we saw yesterday, there will be even more drama before then. I asked Mike Guinea, former resident electoral commissioner, what he would recommend to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And he says that, in fact, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should not sign this bill as proposed, because that's the next stage now. Will the president grant his assent? That remains to be seen. I go back again to Igini. Rufai asked him a question, and I would have wanted him to clarify it. When Rufai asked, will IREF be justiciable? And he said he disagreed with the decision in the matter Atiku versus INEC, presided over by Justice Okoro. However, it needs to be reminded that a subsidiary legislation, the guidelines and regulations, cannot override the main act. And that is the decision of the same Supreme Court in Jagade and another versus INEC and another. So a subsidiary legislation cannot override. That was the decision, Agim, JSC, in that particular case.
Well, like you said very aptly, Dr. Abati, there's going to be more drama. Very quickly, Rufai, because earlier in the show I'd heard you speak on Senator Baribe and the fact that, he stood his ground. And now he's being taunted for that and they're saying social media senator. But is it not Nigerians that are on social media anyway? And, social media being a tool that is now being used to hold people accountable. So even if he's a social media senator, I don't think that should be an insult. I think it shows that he's accountable to a constituency.
You see, I don't want to dwell much on the people that stole democracy that are taunting others. What would they do? They've had their bounty. They've looted democracy. These same people that, as of 2013, were pushing for an electronic system of elections then because they wanted to remove Goodluck Jonathan, which was their biggest problem. But it has shown that all the politicians are the same. The cycle just only changes. Then the APC were the saints in 2012, 2013. Everybody wanted them so much because Jonathan was the problem. Now they got into power that we've seen they're even worse than Jonathan. In all of this, when we Nigerians get a break. So I'm not surprised about Mr. Akpabio that taunts Mr. Inaya Baribe for fighting for the future of this country because he sees that this system they've passed is going to benefit from it. That's just it, and the system will help them. But the question is, when are we going to fight for those that cannot benefit from it? What's it called? Barrister Guinea was talking about the fact that he shouldn't make President Tinubu shouldn't sign it. Barrister Guinea, I don't want to take. I'm not a betting man, but let's go there this morning. If President Tinubu does not sign it with his two hands, I will come on air and be dancing skelewu. He will sign it.
But you can't skelewu anyway. That's not a fair wager.
You know why? You know why?
Okay, we have to
move on now.
Because
they should come out and lie to us that this is not their plan.
Well,
you see, when Balogun came and he was trying to change what we know by saying what they passed in the House of Rep was different from what they passed in the House was the same what they passed in the Senate, you will know that they were liars. So let them keep deceiving themselves.
So on social media, let me just say very quickly, briefly, I'll say that you are absolutely right. But I wanted to just buttress the point that sometimes when they try to downplay very powerful platforms, don't forget that social media was the trigger for a number of protests around the world, the Nepal protests, the Gen Z protests around the world. So you underestimate social media at your own peril. So if you're being called a social media senator, perhaps it's actually talking about the extent of your influence.
Is it not the same social media APC used to fight PDP in 2015 with their influencer?
I think this is a topic that, of course, is going to keep developing, and we're going to continue to unpack it. But